Check, check, check. This thing working? This is my first time. Y'all gotta help me out here. Thomas, my name's Evan. How you guys doing? Good to meet you. This is really my first time being live, so help me out here. You barely turned that computer on. And we're gonna be working on some red trim here. So I painted it earlier this morning. Well, actually last night, but I finished up a couple things this morning. Bolted a few things together, and we'll bolt on the back here. Little end of the trim. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. This has been an exciting process. It's been a labor of love. It's been a lot of fun. The faces, thank you again for all the face submissions. We'll be posting that video here very soon. I'll get that video up here for you guys. Just have to sort a few things out, but it's coming along. This one actually, this face I got from a neighbor. It was off a kid's toy, and I went and knocked on her door. I was like, "Hey, you got this little train toy out there. Are you guys gonna do anything with it?" And she's like, "No." She's like, "Take it. The kids aren't looking. Get it out of here." So she's like, "Just come back at night." So I picked it up, and that's where this thing came from. I don't know if I'm gonna use it. It's kind of small. What do you guys think? Like, should I? You can see like on the actual smoke box here, it's a little bit small. Can you see that? My fat hand's in the way. It's a little small, but it might work. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe make something for it. But that's one option at some point. It's a little cracked. I have to do a little bit of work around it, but we'll see. And this guy here, I was touching up the other week on the last episode. And then I have another one here that I 3D printed. And then I'll probably do one out of wood and have some specially made. I'd like a few different ones, obviously, for him, different facial expressions and such. So, but for now, we'll just keep this one on here. And we'll put this guy right here. So first things first, when we dive into this. So here's the trim. You guys can see that. This came off the original Locomotive, this bottom bar here. And then from there, I just cut out, as you guys saw in the last episode, the little fins and so forth to kind of wrap around the slope. And this is for the back half. I know some people don't want the slope, and you know what? That's okay. And, you know, maybe I plan on doing Locomotive at some point, probably without the slope. I would like to really dive in deep to some of the original Rail Race series stuff, and, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for now, this Tom is going to have the slope, obviously, and it took a little bit to get there. This is detachable, as you guys saw. So there's an oiler, there's a cylinder lubricator right here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but or you can't really see it, but it's in there. There's a cylinder lubricator. It's just a little tube with like a pin in it. Take out the pin, you fill it up, and it allows oil, steam oil, to go throughout the inner cylinders. In here, there's cylinders in here, obviously, that move Thomas along. So that is what that is. So I had to allow room for that, and that's why I had to make this slope detachable. It came out okay. I might do another one too. I'm you know, this is my first time ever rocking a Thomas live steam. I've never worked on a G gauge, although I've been around a lot of G gauge Thomases. But this is the first live steam one, so everything's kind of a little experimental, but it fits on there pretty well. I do have to massage this area here with the red trim, and that will come at a later date. Check this out. So I painted these little bolts and nuts here earlier this morning. You guys see that? So these guys are what is going to hold on the back half, and we'll install those right now. I guess I'm supposed to look at comments, right? Is that what goes on here? Yeah. Good to see you guys commenting. I'll read some here in a bit. Like I said, I'm really new to this, so bear with me. Thank you for your patience. Check this out. So our first step here, we're going to hook up the back half here. And I painted the foot plate. Thomas, now he has, I've noticed little fins here in the foot plates. I should put those there at some point. I think it would just be proper to do that. You guys obviously know what I'm talking about. I know you Thomas fans are like obsessed. You guys are like, it goes like this. No, it goes like this. Well, I noticed these right here. So eventually we'll put those in. But for now, we're going to attach this to the red trim. So we're going to take this right here. Let's put it here. So you guys can see that a little bit. Let's take one of our bolts and nuts, throw it through there. Put that on there. I'll show you guys a close-up here soon. I'll get closer. Let me just put this little nut on there. Actually, you know what? I probably should Loctite it. I know I'm going to get a ton of flack if I don't. Let's bust out the Loctite. See what we can do here. There we go. Let's put on the second one here. So I can show you guys a little bit closer what's going on here. I'm going to put this right there. We'll cinch that up here. I have a little bit of weld I can put there. Oops, there we go. And then, let's see here. It's always tricky trying to balance the camera. When I'm filming Train Builder, and Charlotte's filming Train Builder, and our other buddy who helps us out is getting the angles, you know, so you guys can see the whole build. That's always kind of a challenge because, and I really give it up to you N scale and 00 gauge and HO guys. I mean, you know, at least this train has some girth to it. So it's a little easier on the hands. But, you know, you still run into stuff, and trying to get my fat hands through there sometimes just does not work out. Oh, we'll tighten those by hand. You guys can see. Boom. We have a little red running trim here. Let's tighten those guys down. I got these handy dandy BA spanners, which are pretty cool. Might be nice. There we go. Let's see what we can do. I'll try to get you guys a good view here. So I was checking out season 2 of Thomas with Toby the tractor, or Trevor, excuse me, Trevor the tractor. Trevor the tractor. I like that episode. I like Trevor. I thought about doing possibly doing like a troublesome truck wagon with Trevor the tractor on it. We'll just put that there. Let's see here. We'll bolt this guy down. See? So you guys can see that a little bit. So yeah, like I said, for anybody tuning in, this is my first live stream. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a joy building this live Steam Thomas for you all. It's been a lot of fun. One thing that I have to be cautious of a lot is not over tightening stuff. I've stripped so much stuff with model railroading. I tend to have a tight grip, and I've noticed that it really doesn't take too much. So there we go. Now we have to put 572 bolts through the running board. Come join me. So let's see. We'll start here. We'll take off. This right here, guys, as you know, is the beginning panel right here. Like I explained in the last episode, this is the tank. This is the tanks that will hold water, obviously. And then these will go right over it. So as you can see, there's a feed going into the boiler right here. I can't disrupt that. I can't move that. That has to stay there. So with that being said, I just extended this tank right here to cover it up. And then, of course, I'll put a little wall right here and the top on it. So the main tank will be right here, but you'll still see the L-shaped tanks right there. So that's coming soon here. Body probably start on the body maybe next episode is what I'm thinking. So I sorted out all the little screws, little bolts that hold on the trim. And here they are. There's a ton of them. Teeny tiny little things. Can you guys see those things? Like I said, I admire you double O gauge guys and you HO N scale, because I don't know how to do it. No, there's just no way. I've worked on some HO before, but jeez, you guys are incredible. So we'll put this right here. First one's always the hardest. There we go. And we'll install that tank here probably next episode. Or I'll do another live stream thing and install that tank there. You guys can see there's a little gap here in the slope panel. I'll clean all that up. This is actually going to get pushed down a little bit. So soon here, that'll be cinched up. It'll look a little cleaner. But for now, it's kind of just there holding on for dear life, and that's okay. We'll put in our other bolt here. So in railroading, there's a ton of repetitive steps that must be taken. Like when you're building railroad track, it's always fun, right, to build 20-foot section of track. But after that, you're like, oh, you're starting out, you're like, oh, this is great, ha, 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 And then 4 hours later, like, oh my gosh, we still have about 2 more miles left to go. So there's a lot of repetitive steps that goes into model railroading, as I'm sure a lot of you guys already know. Especially this live steam stuff. I'll find myself sitting here wrenching on a part for hours. Any James fans out there? I love James. I really want to build James, but it'll probably be a little bit till I get the opportunity to. Percy's next on the block as far as live steam for Thomas. I will be building. I'm really excited. I'm building this American locomotive. Not Thomas and Friends. It's a basic 240 Old English locomotive, and it's in 2.5 scale. That's coming in here soon, and I'm really excited about that one. So, hopefully some you Thomas fans find some love in that one too. And then for Thomas, definitely troublesome trucks are I'll probably hit a troublesome truck next. While I'm getting this thing under steam. So it might take a little bit. Actually, it shouldn't be too long. This thing's pretty smooth. But probably hit a troublesome truck next. And then for live steam, I think for budget-wise, I'll probably do a Percy next. Probably do Percy next. And Edward, I have to do Edward. So here we go with our steps. We're just going to keep screwing these in here for a little bit. Last night, I think there was a possum in my garage. I came out, there was stuff scattered everywhere. The other day I saw, I don't know, I think there's a possum in this garage. I think he's still in here, actually. Scared the hell out of me last night. Okay. Let's see here. See what you guys are saying. Gordon. When will I do Gordon? Oh my gosh, I know, right? Well, he's a big engine, as you know. Gordon is a big old engine, and that means he's going to take some big bucks to complete. I would love to do Gordon. He is definitely top 10. I'd say Gordon's on my top 10. He's a big engine, though. Will I do Gordon? Absolutely. Will it be in the next year? Probably not. Percy's going to take a little bit to do already, but man, I would sure love to do Gordon. Get some rolling stock. I'm definitely going to get some rolling stock going on here. Annie and Clarabelle, they're a must. And as well as finish up the black side tank locomotive, the poly locomotive that I'm going to be completing here very shortly. That I think will probably be under steam before Thomas, but Thomas is right around the corner. We're getting really close here, guys. We're getting really close to getting Thomas under steam. He's realistically, once I hook up the tanks, I could fire him up without a cab and everything. Obviously, he would hold water and could fire him up. It might be a possibility. I'd like to run him on air a couple times just to make sure everything's solid, so I don't, blow up the garage and stuff. So I'll probably run him on air, and then maybe we do like a live stream or something, even without a cab. I don't know how you guys feel about this, of just testing him out on live Steam. Under Steam, I could, put some coal in there, and we could see how it all goes down. Almost. There we go. Exciting times. So I kept this splasher off right here because, as you know, Thomas has the red pinstriping that goes in and around. So, and he has it on his splasher here. So I was measuring stuff out the other night, so I took this one off. And I think I'm going to have this awesome little print shop down the way make some pinstripes because they do some really good Teflon. They make some really good stuff that sticks, really like high quality stickers, if you will. I might do that and then like put a non-alcoholic varnish on it or so to seal it up, super glue, something. I've actually, let's see, to be honest with you, I've done very little pinstriping. Painting is not my thing. If I could hire a painter, I should hire a painter, but I enjoy it. I'm just not the best at it. Put it that way. But this actually came out pretty good. Actually, I had a painting buddy come over and check it out. He's like, "Oh, you did pretty good," which makes me feel good because I was like, "Really?" But it's on there. I mean, this paint is definitely it's on there. Yeah, pinstripe. Do the red pinstripe. So that's why this splasher is off at the moment. But we'll put it right there for looks. And we just got a couple more little bolts here. And this thing's on there. Okay. How's it look? Does it look okay in camera? Can I see it in your camera? It looks okay. Needs a little love right here. But we'll work that out. Here's the reverser right here. It's kind of fun. I went ahead the other night and actually lubricated all the parts, all the eccentrics, because it had been a little bit since it was just down to a frame. As you guys see here, I'll show you. We'll push it back and forth a little bit here. Just, he's really smooth. Like, I'm really surprised after all the work I've done to this thing. Even before I started doing it on Train Builder, I had this thing in parts. It was just everywhere. And sometimes with locomotives, there's just a lot of moving parts in there, right? And if the frame gets tweaked in any way and get this, you know, it gets stiff really easily. And not even the frame. I mean, there's just, you know, yeah, you have the springs, and there's just a lot of components that can come into play. So let's see here. So you can see he's pretty smooth. I mean, this engine was run before, and there goes my backboard. The fellow, he actually left a comment on there. Yeah, I think he might be on there now. I'm not sure. I'll definitely answer back. He remembers this locomotive, and he remembers owning this locomotive when it was in R class before it became an E2 class. So he put a cool injector on it right here, and here's the whistle. So he had done work to it as well, and from what I understand, it ran really well. So it didn't really take too much. There was just things I had to do on my end to get it to my liking, especially turning him into Thomas. Thomas weighs about, I'd say he's about 80 pounds now. I'd say he's about 80, 90 pounds. It's definitely, it's interesting getting him on and off this board on the bottom there. It's he's a chunker. And the HO scales are a lot easier to move. And so is my Trackmaster. But yeah, you can see his motion. It's relatively smooth. He's, you know, he's pretty much ready to go. So got the red running board, or the red running board trim, and yeah, we'll put it back on here. We'll put the plating. And I guess I should answer some comments, right? Is that how it works here? I'm kind of old school. I am dealing with steam locomotives, you know. I'm not exactly a tech wizard here. Just getting me on YouTube was funny enough. My friend's like, you have to do it. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll do it. How does this thing work? Yeah. Let's see. He runs smooth, and I love it. Thank you. That's as heavier than my bed. Yeah, right. I just got a mattress right now. I'm actually gonna have to build a bed here soon. Speaking of that, he's coming together really well. Thank you. Yeah, he's coming together. It's nice to see. Live steam locomotive has the live steam engine would win. That's right. Live steam for life. Live steam for life. I'm obsessed with live steam. Run a lot of little engines and volunteered my time at a lot of railroad clubs and stuff. Running me, I'm gonna love it. So, can you hitting Henry the Black Five? Henry, ooh, Black Fives. Love Black Fives. Man, that'd be really cool. Can you build Henry? I'd love to build Henry. I'd probably build Edward first before Henry, but Henry would be cool. And Gordon's a big old engine though. That's just gonna take a little bit. Can't wait till he's finished. Me too. I can't wait to ride this thing around for you guys. I'll have Charlotte. I'll get Charlotte on this thing. I'll get my little girl. I'll get the whole neighborhood. We'll charge it around for you guys. Does that Thomas run on real water and real coal? You bet he does. That is. Actually, I have some Welsh coal here. Would you like to see some? I'll grab you a little. Yeah, this engine runs on coal and water. So it is a live steam locomotive. Yeah, there's no electric motors in this thing. It is all live steam or gas combustible engines, none of that. It's all live steam. So put your water in, boil the water, create steam, goes to your pistons, your cylinders, pushes it out, pushes it in, pushes it out. An Ecton rod makes that wheel go around. very early technology, but very efficient and effective technology, very powerful technology. I watch these videos of just old steam engines all the time, and to some people, are probably the most boringest thing. You know, there's a bunch of old guys like, "Ah, come on, Jay, this thing would haul 17 logs up a hill. Let me just put a little bit of coal in that thing and drag it up." I love it. I watch that stuff all day long. Just it's amazing to hear the story, especially from the old timers that used to use and live and breathe live steam. You know, when they were in the field logging. I love logging railroads. I'm obsessed with logging railroads. Narrow gauge is kind of my jam. And then, yeah, you know, special place in the heart for Thomas and Friends. Love Thomas and Friends. I love, you know, when I first saw Thomas, like in the 80s, Shining Time Station. It was Shining Time Station. It caught my attention immediately, you know, so I was immediately drawn to it, trained there. And that's kind of how I learned about like British locomotives and stuff, because I'm here in America. And I was well versed on, you know, American steam, but didn't really know too much about British steam. But I learned early on through Thomas, and that was really exciting. That was really, really exciting. Just all the different classes and stuff, and you know, you guys rolling stock, and LGB was kind of my thing. So around here in America, my first real introduction to like British and German, everything was like through LGB, and that's was kind of the gateway. And I've always loved Thomas for being kind of a gateway into railroading for a lot of people. You know, I think a lot of people that just know train, their first train they really see is, you know, Thomas and stuff. And I think that that's a great, great gateway for children, adults, and fans and people alike to get into railroading, because those early modeling episodes, they're so good. Like, they're so good. I still find myself watching. I was watching with my friend the other day. He's not even into trains, right? And I was like, check this out, because I had a 3D design for this one part, and we started watching. I think it was season 3. I think it was season 3 of Thomas. Some earlier stuff, and like he's like, I can see why people just love this. Like this, the earlier stuff is so good with the models. You know, the way they got those things to move, and the steam, and you know, with the smoke. And, you know, when they stomp, the wheel, the slippage, just everything. There's just a lot of cool elements to that modeling era, right? That's just, it's priceless, man. It's so good. Like, RA did such an amazing job. He came with such a creative, you know, product that I can just see why everybody's so obsessed with it and loves Thomas. Those modeling eras are just incredible. And I find myself going back, you know, at nighttime and stuff before I go to bed, and I'll look up the old, a lot of the old stuff, and read about the railway series, and it's really cool. But I'll show you a little piece of coal here. Give me 1 second. Give me 2 seconds. Actually, I'm gonna just grab it from my bin here. Let me move my umbrella. So yeah, it was actually, I remember it was Edward's Exploit. If any of you guys remember that, that episode, Edward's Exploit, there's the wheel slippage in there. That's really cool. That Edward, that happens with Edward, and I love it. It's so cool how they got that go, right? They probably lifted up the little locomotive just a teeny bit to get the wheels to slip, and just awesome. So this is coal. This is Welsh coal right here. Oh, I like to call it, what is better, tender engines or tank engines? I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what about that. In little guys like this, okay, there's two. So tender engines, one of the tank engines. We'll start with tank engines. The one problem we experience with these little tank engines is through our injectors, it tends to heat up the water. Injectors like cooler water. So when the tanks are so close to the boiler, it tends to heat up the water, and it kind of messes with your injector. Doesn't really like that. So tender engines definitely, you know, keeps the water a little bit cooler just being in the back of the locomotive opposed to on the locomotive. Weight. you need weight. Trains need to be heavy. I shouldn't say all trains need to be heavy, but trains like being heavy, especially for traction and stuff. These little guys, you know, the heavier tends to be the better. This, in terms of little live steam engines, is a relatively light locomotive. Like I said, it's probably going to weigh in about 100 pounds, a little less than 100 pounds, all said and done. Around that, I think 90 pounds or so. But there's water on it, so 1 gallon of water is what, 8 pounds. So that adds a little bit of weight to it, gives it some traction, and thus a little more pulling power. I ate a lot of donuts, so I need a lot of pulling power right here. So that helps out with the tank engines, is the weight, especially on these little guys, like having that weight. Even on, I should say, even on bigger locomotives, like a lot of bigger locomotives, you'll find cases of where they actually strapped tanks on top of boilers, you know, especially in logging railroads like I'm into, on top of boilers, just so it can get a little more weight for the tractive effort. So tender engines or tank engines, which one's better? Gosh, I don't know. They're about 50-50 right there. Like my Dream Steam locomotive in like old logging railroads has a tender. I love tank engines. They're 50-50, I'd say, for, you know, and there's a lot more other like schematics that go involved with, you know, tender versus tank, but those are just some right there. So you can think tank engine has the weight on it, which helps some of the tractive effort. Tender locomotives help, especially with the little guys, because they have it in the backs. Water stays a little more cool and better for the injectors and stuff. So yeah, this is Welsh coal. My hands are getting all coaly right now. Check it out. Little stuff. Coal. Beads. I think they call them beads in the UK. This is coal. Little Welsh coal. I got a bunch of this stuff for free, actually. It's really nice. This old guy, Glenn McGee, is like 110 years old, down a few towns over from me. He had buckets of this stuff. He had like just buckets of wet coal. It's been sitting outside for 100 years. They actually store coal in water. So first thing I asked him, I'm like, this coal's soaking wet, Glenn. Like, what? Will this even work? And he said, yeah. He's like, you know, actually they store coal in water. If you dry this stuff out. So last summer, I laid down a tarp, took these buckets of wet coal, put them out there, and they dried for a few days, and it burns actually really well. I sold some to a buddy over at AccuCraft Trains, because he was asking. It was like a total like coal deal. He's like, you got Welsh coal? I was like, yeah, I got Welsh coal. You got Welsh coal? I got Welsh coal. Hook it up? I'll hook it up. So I sent him a few boxes of Welsh coal. I guess it's pretty desirable stuff. Actually, it is really desirable stuff. And this is it. So Thomas will burn this stuff along with some wet rags soaked in paraffin and lighter fluid, and, you know, to get them started. And that's going to go into the firebox. And all right, the coal is Sodor coal. I'll take that. That's cool. Or Henry Welsh coal. That's Henry's bag. Just give Thomas normal coal. Yeah, it is normal coal. It is normal coal. It's just, you know, it's normal coal. Nothing really fancy about it. Yeah. Well, Thomas blows smoke when he's finished up for the first time. You bet he will. Yeah, because he's burning coal. So all the exhaust will come up through the chimney here, the stack, the funnel, and that's what people call funnel. And you will definitely see smoke. There'll be smoke. There'll be steam. Steam will come out from underneath the under here, the drain cocks, and the whistle, and then the safety valves here. So if it goes over, I think it's 90 psi for this guy, then it'll pop off, and you'll see steam there, and there'll be steam everywhere. It'll be steam, dirt, water, soot, the whole 9 yards. It wouldn't have it any other way. And water. You bet there's going to be water. That's right. I'm not going to run it off of Kool-Aid. Let's see. Thomas and take draw. Oh, okay. Any news on the many faces? Yeah. Well, I'm working on them here. So, like I said, you know, I'm starting to kind of like 3D print these faces here. I'm going to do a painting session, actually. I think I'm going to paint this guy on a live stream or on a live chat. So be prepared for that. Maybe next week. I think maybe next week. Good. I have to get some paint. And then, yeah, paint this guy here and kind of go from there. And there'll be other faces. I want other facial expressions. I've had some other friends of mine reach out about making faces. So I think that'll happen as well. And I just want to have like 152 faces to put on this guy. So I plan on doing some like role playing with him as well. Maybe make my own little episodes with him. That would be kind of cool. So that's definitely going to happen. I have a few ideas. But yeah, here's one right here. And you can see the other one that came off the toy. But I don't know if I'm going to use this. This kind of, we'll see. I mean, it looks decent. It looks decent. Some of the coloring, though, it's really worn. It looks a little more yellow. Probably not as yellow on camera, but in here it looks a little bit yellowish. But we'll see. You guys can see a little more up close. Somebody said, "Can you show me the cab?" You bet. So this is part of the cab. As you can see, I hope you can use your imagination a little here. You can see I'm going to use it as one panel piece. So the door will be here, window here, coal bunker here, and then yeah. So you kind of see like what's going down here. And I made sure to leave room because I know this was really important. I know it's kind of hard to see right there, but there's the running board here. So there's still some running board left. I didn't flush the body all the way up to the plates. There is still some running board here. So give it that E2 look right there. Let's see. Oh, the inside. You guys want to see the inside? I might be able to do that here. Let's see here. Okay, y'all. You're going to go for a ride. Check this out here. We'll do. So you guys can see a little bit more of the inside here of him. Let's see, put a little light back there. Hope that helps a little bit there. Oh, somebody just asked. My other buddy here, he's about 8 ounces. So yeah, Thomas is he's about 80 pounds as of now. He's about 80 pounds. I'd say he's going to be about 90 pounds or so, all said and done. Close to 100. We'll see. Have I ever had coal fly out of the firebox? It usually stays in there pretty well. I don't really have coal that has ever really flown out of the firebox. When you're stoking the locomotive, so right here, guys, you can see like the little firebox door there. Let's see here. You guys see a little bit more. Here's the firebox door right here. A little tough. But here, let's see if I can do this here for you. You guys see a little better there. You can see the firebox door. That's where you open it up, and that is where you put the coal. Right in there. Let's see if I can get the light over here a little bit. So there we go. And then this opens up right there. Once again, my fat hand is in the way. Fat controller. So That's the firebox door right there. And the coal goes in there, and I will show you guys all the steps when this thing is done about firing this bad boy up. We'll all fire it together. One big happy Thomas family. And it feels good to keep some of the modeling era alive, kind of going back into what we were talking about. Some people asked about the model. It's just such a magical era, right? It's incredible. See what they did. And I mean, I could if I was definitely, I was a little baby when they started producing, but that's definitely a show I would have loved to have worked on. How fun, right? Just to mess with the model trains, and especially physical models, not just sitting in front of a computer and necessarily animating it or CGI. And I think the modeling era would have definitely been really, really cool. Oh, what gauge is it? Thomas is a 5-inch gauge as of now. I might convert him to 4 3/4, but a big part of me just wants to keep him in 5-inch gauge. I do have a stretch of 5-inch gauge track out in the side yard that I'll test him out on. You guys will all see that. So I think I'm going to keep him 5-inch gauge. So, but maybe 4 3/4, maybe re-gauge him. It could be done. Some of the eccentrics, it's going to take a little bit of toying with to do that. I would not look forward to that. That's kind of a big job, and for accuracy purposes and stuff. But it might happen. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, repaint the toy face. Yeah, that's a possibility. I think I might do that here. That's a great idea. Got to play 7.5-inch gauge track. That's definitely my dreams team, I call it. That's coming up will be 7.5 gauge. So that'll be kind of cool. Here, let me cover up some of me crap. You guys see a little better too with the light. You're working on an N scale layout, somebody said. Awesome. Love N scale. That's a lot of fun. I'm terrible at working on it, though. It's big, fat hands. But I love N scale. I love buying N scale and running N scale. Always cool. What kind of train did you use for Thomas? Good question. I used an R class. It's a Maxi Trax R class parts. I had a couple different R class. I had a couple different R classes that were laying around in parts, and this one came in a little more complete, actually fully complete. And I stripped it down and kind of mishmashed parts from the different R classes because I'm doing another project for somebody with some R classes. So I kind of had to figure this. So I kind of part things together. And yeah, this R class, now an E2 class, has different various parts on it in order to achieve the E2 class kind of feel. Let's see. Oh, Great Lakes live steamers. Cool. To check them out sometime. That's cool. Oh, you'll get a locomotive one day, buddy. It took me forever. This stuff is not cheap. This stuff is not cheap. That's one thing. Like, I wish I could just make Percy. I wish I could run out to the hobby shop and go grab Percy parts and put them together. But the fact of the reality is, it's just, it takes a lot. It's a lot of work. You got to gather stuff and then machine stuff and send it out to people to machine and paint. And it's just, they don't sell this stuff at Walmart. You know what I mean? They don't sell a lot of these parts or anything at your local hobby shops and stuff. You have to go online and you sit and wait for 2 years for an axle pump. Do you have Facebook? I do have Facebook. You can find me, Evan. I don't know if I should give my last name. My middle name's Thomas, though. Let you know that. It really is. My middle name is Thomas for my uncle. Evan Thomas, blah, blah, blah. I'm working on making Trackmaster awesome into real work locomotive with Thomas with real steam, with a real whistle, and doesn't run on gear, just steam. Oh, wow. Trackmaster on real steam? Whew, it couldn't be done. There you go. Create a melt pot. It'll be a big plastic mess, but you could do it. You could definitely do it. That'd be fun. You definitely have to share that with me. If you make a live steam Trackmaster, that would be awesome. I'm in. Will you build Donald and Douglas? Oh, that'd be cool. I'd love to build Donald and Douglas. That would be so cool. Yeah, I will. One of these years, maybe, it, yeah. Um, but that would be cool. Donald and Douglas would be awesome. Um, oh, Flying Scotsman. Whew. Yeah, that would be awesome. Poly model kits are recommended as they are good value. Poly are great. I love Poly. Poly's been really good to me. Big props. And Lucy over at Poly and Auntie, tell them Evan sent you. They think I'm kind of an oddball because I'm out here in America building 5-inch gauge. Out here in America, it's 4 3/4 and 7.5 gauge are our gauges. Whereas you guys in the UK, what, 7/4 and 5-inch gauge. So why couldn't they just all keep it the same? 1/4 inch, really, guys? Come on now, metric standard. Oh my gosh. Although I'll admit that the Brits definitely have it going on with their system runs a little bit smoother. Yeah. Well, I do the Gallant Old Engine Scarlet. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Will you make box? Right. I don't know. We'll see. What is my favorite train? I love narrow gauge logging. So I have this one model up here. It's a 242. I can't really bring it down. I can show you. It's a 242 Baldwin locomotive, and it's narrow gauge. I like those. I like small old English style locomotives, American locomotives. I'm 50-50 with British and American, to be honest with you. I am 50-50 with both of them. I just have such a special place in my heart for British locomotives and American as well. So it's kind of hard. Like when you're a real train freak, train buff, is like pick your favorite locomotive. Well, I know I like narrow gauge. I like the they're compact. They seem more accessible, if you will. I think we're always trying to strive for bigger. They always make a joke in railroading that you're always gonna go bigger. So right, you go to HO, then you go to O scale, then you go to G scale, then you go to live steam, and you're always trying to strive for the real thing, right? So we'll see. Maybe one day we'll build a real train. We'll see. Maybe try building Annie and Clarabelle. Absolutely, they're coming. They are coming. Actually, I just was drawing up some stuff the other week. Absolutely. What train would you like to do, but you couldn't? Oh, Flying Scotsman, maybe. Oh, that would be very cool. Um, Something along those lines. I don't know. I think you could do pretty much any train. It's just about how much money you have, right? That's about how much time and money you have. And right now, I'm a jack of all trades. I have so much stuff going on. I'm just finished building a house right now, so it's time and money. It's decent. Like I am cashed out right now for trains, so I'm getting parts here. Putting them together. So, do you know Big Boy? Hell yeah, I know the Big Boy. UP, Union Pacific. I've seen the Big Boy. It's out there in Cheyenne, Wyoming. It's a great locomotive. Big, 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 big locomotive. You get up to that and you're like, wow, that is heavy. That's about the heaviest thing you'll ever see. It's a big locomotive. I've never seen what. Actually, I don't know if I've ever seen it. I don't think I've seen the Big Boy run. I saw Challenger. I saw Challenger come in at Real Fest. UP 844. That come in. That was beautiful. Yeah, Union Pacific makes an amazing locomotive. What's my favorite British locomotive? Oh my god. I don't even. Oh my gosh. Can I get back to you on that one? There's a lot. There's a lot. I don't even know where to begin. I like this. I tell you my favorite Welsh locomotives. I like the Earl, the Welsh Pool Railway. I like the Earl a lot. He's a cute little engine, cool little engine, cute and cool little 060 tank. Kind of reminds me of. That's kind of why I went for it because I like that. The Welsh Pool, Lane Fair Railway. How much does it cost to make a train? Good question. Thomas will cost me, all said and done. Let me think about this, because I had some parts lying around. And I got, and then I bought that other locomotive. Probably about 8,000 US dollars, I'd say. Probably about 8,000 US dollars to build Thomas. You can translate that into pounds. So yeah, about 8,000. Oh, when you saw a Big Boy, you were 5 or 6. That's awesome. Man, that thing must have been huge. I was about that age too when I saw a Big Boy. I was little. Isn't it huge? Just big, just machine. Ah, beautiful locomotive. Big coal hauler. Haul around the coal mine Cheyenne. Just the amazing articulated locomotive. Let's see. What toys did you grow up with? I grew up with I was always striving to make a live steam engine. I was always trying to ride my G-scale engines, and my fat butt would break them because I'd sit on them and they'd break. But I had some cheap, new bright train sets. I had one LGB kit Playmobil. I had some Playmobil trains, and that was cool. Those were really expensive for the time. Those were powerful little locomotives. I took them all apart. Once again, I would kit bash all my locomotives. I'd kit bash everything. I'd just take them all apart, buy them, I'd take them apart, and then try to put a seat on it, and I'd sit on it and break the damn thing. But I'd still run it till the wheels fell off. I was always looking to make a live steam locomotive, and it hasn't been till recently when I've been able to own my own live steam locomotives. It took a long time. It takes a long time. It's, I mean, some people, even if fortunate you have money, you can afford it. 'Cause it all comes down to that, really, and time. But it was a little bit later on in life when I started getting into be able to own live steam, not being getting into. I've been into it for my whole life, but be able to own and operate one. So these two locomotives that I have right now, which I'll be selling the Poly here after I'm done. So I'll put a link up here. I was going to sell that with 3 gondolas too. When it's all said and done, run under steam, show you guys, and then run it. And yeah. So yeah. What do I think of the reboot of Thomas? I don't want to get in trouble. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there, but I think you guys already know. What? Let's see. Don't talk about that. Yeah. We're gonna keep Tom alive in the modeling year here. So, and it's great to be able to. Mallard, beautiful, beautiful, fastest locomotive. Mallard, love Mallard. Mallard was one of the first locomotives my grandfather showed me. He's like, "This is Mallard right here." Beautiful blue engine, streamliner. It's a good looking streamliner too. There's a lot of I'm not into really streamlined locomotives. I'm just not. But the Mallard, for some reason, I think he just gets everybody. That engine's just incredible. So yeah. So hey, I gotta get rolling here because I gotta go to work here. But it's been great. It's been great. Thanks for tuning with me. This is my first time, and thanks for helping me out, being respectful, and helping the old man out here. But I'll be back for more. I'm gonna paint some faces. I think next week we'll paint a face. I'll do a live stream for that. I know time wise. Let's see. You guys obviously it's like Australia. I think it's like 6 in the morning there right now. 7 in the morning. UK. What are you guys going to bed right now? Right here it's 1 o'clock. We're eating sandwiches. So 2 o'clock now. Yeah, you guys. I'll be back. So you guys stay tuned, and yeah, I enjoy it, and I'll put out more videos here very soon. Thanks for stopping in, guys. Talk soon. Bye bye.